It's early morning. The room is quiet. Soft light spills through the curtains. Mary sits on the edge of her bed. Her hands rest on her knees. She feels the familiar pull in her lower back, a dull ache that greets her every sunrise. She closes her eyes and breathes. The years have been kind, but her body feels heavier now. Each movement takes a little more thought. Each stretch a little more care. She remembers her doctor's words. Movement is medicine, Mary. Don't stop moving. But some mornings, even standing feels like a challenge. Her hamstrings tighten. Her back stiffens. And she wonders when simple things became so hard. Outside, a bird sings. It reminds her of rhythm, of flow, of gentle beginnings. She straightens her spine and whispers, "Maybe today." A quiet promise to herself. To move even if slowly. To breathe through the stiffness. To begin again, one small bend at a time. Because healing, she thinks, doesn't start with strength. It starts with softness. And a single decision to try. The sun climbs higher through the thin morning haze. Mary moves slowly toward the kitchen. The floor feels cool beneath her bare feet. She reaches for the kettle and winces slightly. That familiar tug in her lower back greets her again. It's not sharp, not unbearable, just constant. A quiet reminder that her body has changed. She pours the water, listens to it hiss and bubble. Her hands wrap around the warm mug. She stares out the window at the garden. The roses need trimming. The herbs are growing wild. Once she would have knelt easily, pruning and watering. Now the thought of bending feels distant, uncertain. She sighs, taking a slow sip of tea. It's strange how time changes the small things first. The easy things. The unnoticed moments. Like tying shoelaces. Reaching for a pan on the lower shelf. Or leaning forward to pick something up. Each small task now comes with hesitation. A silent negotiation with her own body. How much will this hurt today, she wonders. Her reflection in the window shows calm eyes. But behind them, a quiet frustration stirs. She used to walk every morning. Miles through the park, laughing with her neighbor Ellen. Now even a short walk leaves her feeling tired. Her hamstrings burn. Her lower back feels locked, unwilling to move. She tries stretching sometimes, the way she used to. But the stretches don't feel the same anymore. They pull in new places, unexpected places. She's careful, always careful. Because one wrong move can mean a week of pain. And that fear lingers in every motion. She sits back down, finishing her tea. Her cat curls around her ankles. The warmth feels comforting. But inside, she knows comfort has its price. Too many quiet mornings. Too many hours sitting still. The body forgets how to bend, how to flow. She remembers the physiotherapist's voice from last month. Your muscles are tighter because they're protecting you. You need to move gently, not stop completely. The words echo in her mind. Gently, not stop. She looks down at her legs, the faint lines of age and strength. They've carried her through so much work, children, laughter. They deserve care, not fear. Still, the thought of starting again feels heavy. Exercise sounds like a task for the young. But deep inside, she knows it's not about youth. It's about presence. About remembering that she's still capable of change. Her phone buzzes softly. A message from Ellen appears on the screen. Morning walk today, just to the corner. Mary smiles. Her first instinct is to say no. Then she pauses. Maybe a short walk is enough. Maybe it's the beginning. She stands slowly, breathing in through her nose. Her back tightens, then releases a little. She takes one careful step forward. Her body protests, then softens. In that small moment, she realizes something. The stiffness isn't a wall. It's a language. And maybe, with time, she can learn to listen to it again. The afternoon light spills softly across the living room floor. Mary sits on her yoga mat, the one she bought months ago. It still smells faintly of rubber and new beginnings. She scrolls through her tablet, looking for simple stretches. Most videos show young, flexible bodies bending with ease. She watches, unsure if those movements are meant for her. Her fingers hover over the pause button. Then she hears a calm voice from one of the clips. Try the knee-to-toe bend. It's gentle, safe, and kind to your back. The phrase stays with her, gentle, safe, kind. It doesn't sound like exercise. It sounds like something her body might actually welcome. She rewinds the video and listens again. A woman in her 60s demonstrates the move, smiling softly. She bends her knees slightly, reaching toward her toes. Not to touch, but simply to move. Her breath is slow and steady. Her face relaxed, not strained. Mary feels a flicker of curiosity. Could something so small really help? She hesitates, then places her hands on her thighs. Just one try, she whispers to herself. She takes a deep breath in. Her knees bend gently. Her spine rounds slightly as she reaches down. The pull in her back appears immediately, like an old friend. But it's not pain, it's awareness. She exhales slowly, rising again. Her body feels strange, almost cautious. She repeats the motion, slower this time. Knees soft, back relaxed, arms following the flow of breath. There's a moment, brief but real, when the tightness eases. A small pocket of relief. A whisper of freedom in her muscles. She opens her eyes and smiles without realizing it. It's not dramatic, not magic, but it feels like something is waking up inside her. She straightens and takes another breath. The therapist's voice returns in her mind. Movement teaches your body to trust again. Trust, that's the word. For months, her body felt like a stranger. Now, with every slow bend, she feels that distance shrinking. She begins to notice the details, the warmth in her legs, the way her spine moves with her breath, the quiet rhythm forming between inhale and exhale. It's not about touching her toes. It's about listening to what her body says along the way. She practices for a few more minutes. Each repetition feels smoother, less forced. When she finally sits back down, her heart feels light. The stiffness hasn't vanished, but it feels softer, less intimidating. She realizes that she's been waiting for a big change, when all she needed was a small one, a single bend, a breath. The kind of movement that doesn't demand, but invites. Outside, the light has shifted to gold. The air feels calmer. Mary sits quietly, her hands resting on her knees. For the first time in a long while, she feels connected. Not to the pain, but to the possibility of peace within it. The next morning, the world feels slow and soft. The light filters through the curtains like a quiet promise. Mary stands in her living room, barefoot on the mat. She remembers the movement from yesterday. The one that felt different. The one that didn't hurt. She takes a breath and straightens her posture. Her shoulders relax. Her feet press gently into the floor. Start where you are, she whispers. She lets her knees unlock just slightly. No tension. No rush. Her body feels cautious but willing. She inhales deeply through her nose. Her spine lengthens, her chest expands. Then she exhales, slowly folding forward. Her hands slide down her thighs toward her knees. Her back curves like a wave easing toward shore. The stretch greets her, not harsh, not loud. Just a steady pull, gentle and alive. She stops before the ache turns sharp. The voice from the video echoes in her mind. Bend your knees as much as you need to. The goal isn't to touch your toes. It's to keep your back relaxed. She follows those words like a rhythm. Down on the exhale, up on the inhale. Breath guiding motion. Motion guiding awareness. Each time she lowers, the stiffness speaks a little softer. Her hamstrings whisper instead of scream. Her back begins to loosen. Her breath becomes her metronome. Slow in, slow out. Her thoughts drift away from the pain. They settle on the feeling of flow. The kind she hasn't felt in years. After a few rounds, her heartbeat slows. Her body feels awake, grounded, safe. She straightens and shakes her arms lightly. A quiet satisfaction spreads through her chest. It's not about effort, she realizes. It's about attention. Every small movement teaches her something new. When to pause. When to breathe deeper. When to simply be still. She practices again, counting softly. One bend. One rise. One breath. Her movements find their own pattern. A small dance between gravity and grace. The tension that once ruled her mornings begins to fade. Not gone, but gentler, like a tide that's learning to recede. She looks at her reflection in the window. Her form is imperfect. Her balance wobbles slightly. But she smiles anyway. Because this is what progress feels like. Not perfect. Not fast. Just steady and kind. She sits down afterward, legs stretched out before her. Warmth hums through her muscles. She hadn't realized how alive her body still was. Every inch of movement felt like a conversation. One her body had been waiting years to have again. And as she leans back on her hands, breathing easily, she whispers a small truth to herself. It doesn't hurt to move anymore. It feels like coming home. A week passes quiet and steady. Each morning begins the same way now. Mary rolls out of bed, feeling the familiar stiffness. But instead of sighing, she smiles. Her mat waits by the window, a soft invitation. She takes her place, feet grounded, knees soft. The morning light feels warmer than before. She breathes in deeply, lifting her arms slightly. Then she bends forward, slow and calm. Her body knows the rhythm now. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Her movements are small, deliberate, kind. The first few bends still feel tight, but the tension fades with every breath. Her lower back stretches, her hamstrings loosen. It's not effort, it's release. She closes her eyes, listening to the sound of her breath. It flows like ocean waves, pulling her deeper into calm. The pain that once ruled her mornings now feels distant, like a memory softened by time. She no longer fears the stretch. She welcomes it, because each bend tells her she's still capable, still strong in quiet ways. After 10 slow bends, she stands still. Her hands rest on her thighs, her heart beating steady. She feels light, almost lifted. The stiffness hasn't disappeared completely, but it no longer defines her. She walks to the kitchen with ease. Her steps have rhythm again. She notices how her posture feels taller. Her breath moves freely through her chest. It's a small victory, but it matters. While her tea brews, she reflects. Movement has become her morning ritual. Not a chore, not a challenge, a kind of meditation. It reminds her of balance, patience, and care. She remembers the first day she tried the bend. The hesitation, the fear of pain returning. Now that fear feels replaced by trust. Her body responds with gratitude. A soft hum of strength beneath the surface. She looks outside at the garden. The roses sway gently in the breeze. She imagines herself moving like that, steady, flexible, alive. Her cat stretches near her feet, graceful and easy. Mary laughs softly. Maybe this is what healing really looks like. Not a sudden miracle, but a slow unfolding. A conversation between effort and ease. Later, when Ellen visits for coffee, Mary shows her the bend. Ellen watches, curious, impressed. "You make it look peaceful," she says. Mary nods. "It is. It's like breathing with your whole body." They both try it, side by side, laughing between breaths. For a moment, the room fills with warmth and light. Two friends, two bodies learning to move again. When they finish, Mary sits back, smiling. Her back feels loose, her legs light. She feels young, not in years but in spirit. Because every gentle bend has taught her something new. That strength isn't loud, and healing doesn't rush. It simply grows quietly, with every breath she takes. The days begin to blend together, calm and steady. Each morning, Mary moves through her routine with grace. The knee-to-toe bends have become her quiet ritual. Not a duty, but a comfort. She no longer counts the repetitions. She simply moves, following her breath. Her body seems to understand before her mind does. It bends and rises with ease, no longer afraid. The once familiar ache in her back now fades faster. Her hamstrings stretch like old friends reuniting. There's a softness in every motion, a rhythm she trusts. She feels more connected to herself than she has in years. It's as if her body and mind have started speaking again. No arguments, no resistance, just understanding. One morning, as she bends, she thinks of her mother. She remembers how her mother used to say, "Keep moving, Mary." The body remembers kindness. Back then, she never understood. Now it makes perfect sense. Movement isn't about strength or youth. It's about staying alive to the world. About keeping the conversation between body and heart open. Mary finishes her routine and sits quietly by the window. The light shimmers across the floor, touching her toes. She flexes her feet, feeling the stretch travel upward. Her spine straightens naturally. Her breath deepens, steady and calm. It's not a stretch anymore, it's a meditation. She notices small things she used to ignore. The sound of birds outside. The rhythm of her heartbeat. The warmth in her back after every bend. She realizes how much her perspective has shifted. The stiffness she once hated is no longer an enemy. It's a teacher. It tells her where to focus, where to breathe, where to let go. Every tight muscle becomes a lesson in patience. Every release, a reminder that progress takes time. When she visits Ellen later that week, she shares this feeling. Ellen listens, eyes bright with curiosity. "You sound different," she says. Mary smiles. "I think I am. I don't just move better, I feel more present." They sit in silence for a moment, sipping tea. Outside, the world hums quietly, alive and slow. Mary looks at her hands, lined but steady. Her legs strong enough to carry her without fear. And she thinks about how far she's come. Not in distance, but in awareness. The bend isn't just for her back anymore. It's for her mind, her heart, her peace. A small ritual of renewal, practiced in sunlight and silence. When she stands to leave, her steps feel lighter. The floor doesn't creak beneath her weight as it used to. Her balance feels sure, her breath full. And as she walks down the path to her garden, she whispers a quiet truth to herself. Movement isn't something she has to do. It's something she gets to do. A gift, one gentle bend at a time. The morning feels quiet, almost sacred. The air carries a soft chill, but the sunlight is warm. Mary stands by the open window, her mat beneath her feet. She closes her eyes, letting her breath settle. Inhale. Exhale. Each breath finds its way into the spaces that once hurt. Her body feels lighter now, more responsive, more alive. She begins her bends, slow and steady. Her knees soften. Her back folds like a wave finding the shore. She breathes into the motion, feeling everything move together. The air, her heartbeat, her thoughts, all in rhythm. There's no stiffness to fight today. Only gentle reminders of where she's been. Her body hums with warmth, quiet but strong. She notices how her breath guides every movement. When she inhales, her chest opens like sunlight over water. When she exhales, her body releases deeper and freer. It feels less like stretching and more like surrender. The bend has become her language. Every motion speaks of patience, gratitude, and care. She doesn't push. She listens. Her body tells her when to stop, when to breathe, when to stay. For a moment, she feels weightless, as if the years have fallen away, leaving only awareness. She straightens slowly, eyes still closed. The sound of wind moves through the trees outside. She hears her own breath echo softly in the room. The silence feels full, not empty. It carries peace, the kind she never found in stillness before. Now she finds it in motion. She places her hand on her chest. Her heart beats slow, calm, steady. She whispers to herself, "I am here." Those three words feel like a grounding spell. They root her in the moment, in her body, in her breath. She bends again, but this time not for the stretch. She bends in gratitude, for the aches that taught her patience, for the mornings that began stiff and ended soft, for the body that stayed with her through it all. When she rises, she feels a quiet joy fill her chest. Movement, she realizes, has become a kind of prayer, a way of saying thank you without words. She steps outside, the earth cool beneath her feet. The sky is bright, the air crisp and alive. Her body moves easily, flowing like memory. Each breath deepens the connection between mind and muscle. There's no effort, only awareness. No pain, only presence. She stands there, eyes open to the horizon. Her hands rest gently at her sides. The wind brushes her hair and she smiles. The world feels vast, but she feels grounded within it. She takes one last deep breath, slow and full. Then she bows slightly, a final bend. Not to stretch, not to strengthen, but to honor. To honor the rhythm between body and breath, between stillness and motion, between the woman she was and the one she's become. The sun rises gently, painting gold across the room. Mary stands by the window, calm and unhurried. Her mat waits in its usual place, a symbol of peace. She takes a deep breath, feeling her chest expand. Then she bends forward, soft and mindful. Her body follows the rhythm like a quiet song. The stiffness no longer frightens her. It's just a whisper now, a reminder to move slowly. Each breath carries ease, each bend carries grace. She rises, eyes half closed, a faint smile on her lips. The day feels lighter, open, forgiving. Outside, the world hums softly, alive, familiar. She thinks of how far she's come, one breath at a time. Healing wasn't fast. It was gentle, patient, and real. Her hands rest on her heart. Her pulse beats steady beneath her fingers. She whispers to herself, "I can move. I can begin again." The room feels filled with quiet strength. She looks out once more at the morning light. And with that, she bends one last time, not to stretch, but to thank her body for finding its way home.